Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, we're ready. Welcome to the 51-45 podcast where we give that team up north their flowers. They are the back-to-back defending East Division champions in the Big Ten. They are the back-to-back Big Ten championship game representers and winners. Fortunately, they were lucky enough to play the Big Ten West. However you say it does not matter because they went to the playoffs 2 years in a row and they were unable to make an appearance in the college football playoff national championship game. First losing to Georgia. Not just losing to Georgia, just outright just getting embarrassed by Georgia. And then somehow finding a way to lose to TCU, a team that had no business in the national championship game. And the first team ever in TCU to actually lose conference championship weekend and not drop a single spot because they did not want to see my Buckeyes have another chance. My alma mater have another chance at the Wolverines. But that's another topic for another day. It's a new season, and obviously each and every team is having their student athletes practice and find motivation, find ways to get better each and every year. If you recall last year, I made a lot of jokes about Team Up North. You know, their practicing methods. They use Vaseline in the weight room with their strength and conditioning coach, and it turns out the Vaseline worked. You know, when they played my Buckeyes, you know, the fourth quarter, just they were the better team in the fourth quarter. Yeah, all that happened. But, you know, this season around, they have two goals in mind. You know, this has been reported that at their practices they have a moment or they have a time where they're strictly focused on Ohio. They have a beat Ohio period, and then they have a beat Georgia period. Now, you know, obviously, you know, being alum of OSU, we don't say that team, we don't say the state. Well, I'll say Michigan State, but I won't just say the M word. It's not right. But come on, if you want to use a beat Ohio period, can you be more original with it? That's fine. I have no issue with it. That's your rival. We know for a fact that we have to see them. They have to see us. You know, I have no issue with it. Urban Meyer is a guy that talked about, even though no matter who we're playing, we have a time dedicated to that team up north. So if he wants to use beat Ohio and whatever he wants to use, I have no issues with it. I'm fine with it. They've obviously beat us the last 2 years. I acknowledge that. Whatever they need to do to have them motivated. You know, you got guys like Donovan Edwards who decided I want to commit at a different time and be upset at Ohio State because they chose two running backs. He knew the rules. They didn't choose them. That's fine. I have no issue with a beat Ohio period. They're on your schedule. But they have a beat Georgia period. I don't understand. I don't understand. How, with a straight face, does Coach Harbaugh have a beat Georgia period? We don't even know if Georgia's going to make it to the college football playoff. They probably are. No. Georgia has a better chance of making the college football playoff than that team up north. They have to go through Penn State. They have to go through my alma mater. Then they have to they also have to beat their in-state rivals. So for them to just act like it's a guarantee that you're going to be playing against Georgia makes no sense. Now, a few years ago, you'll say, okay, Ohio State, we lost to Clemson in 2019. We had the Clemson score all throughout where they practice at. That's fine. But we played Clemson. They didn't play Georgia last year. In fact, they didn't play Georgia. I see a beat Ohio on the schedule. They're practicing. They have the beat Ohio period, meaning Ohio State. Maybe it's Ohio Bobcats. I don't know. They play such a terrible schedule. Maybe it is beat Ohio, but I'm be realistic. It's probably Ohio State. They just don't want to say the state. You know, whatever. It's fine. I have no issue with having a beat Ohio period. Okay, you have a beat Georgia period, but my thing is, why don't you have a beat TCU period? This podcast is literally named after TCU. Can you show TCU some respect? I don't get it now. Whatever you have to do to get better, get your guys motivated, that's fine. Team up north, they have a really easy non-conference schedule. Georgia is, the team to beat right now in college football. They are back-to-back national champions. I didn't think they could go back-to-back, so whatever they have cooking up down there in Athens, Georgia, I'm fine with. But I just think that if you're going to have periods dedicated to these teams, shouldn't you have a period? You beat Ohio State, your rival, last year. That's fine having another period. You didn't play Georgia last year, so why are you having a beat Georgia period? It doesn't make any sense. You should have a beat TCU period. And why are you overlooking TCU? You're doing all this time, and let's just say hypothetical, I'm not even going to get into I'm not going to even say that. I put that out there on this video. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, we know for a fact you're playing Ohio State. Regardless of the outcome, you have to play Ohio State. okay, let's say, you're doing all this practice period every I don't know if it's every practice, but you're having practice periods right now in the summertime dedicated to Georgia. I don't think you're doing a practice period dedicated to USC. Whatever. Say you do face Ohio State, you're going to be prepared when you play Ohio State because you've been practicing right now in the summer for Ohio State, whether it's, I don't know if it's 25, 30 minutes. I don't know how long they're going to practice about Ohio State. That's fine. You do the same for Georgia. When you play those two teams, you're going to be prepared. But you're not doing that for TCU, the team that just beat you. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Because that just tells me now you're going to be further more embarrassing than the Big Ten. You're going to be further more embarrassing because you're not preparing for TCU. You're preparing for Ohio State. You're preparing for Georgia. You need to actually get a period dedicated to your in-state rival, Michigan State. Maybe a period dedicated to dedicated to Penn State. But number one on your list should be TCU. Stop overlooking the team that beat you 51-45. The name of this podcast.